Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to another Pokemon Showdown session with a special guest. Who is
I
it?
am very special because I'm learning.
Yeah, it's XCal, and if this goes on your channel, I'm the special guest. A little bit of topsy-turviness there. But anyway,
Hey, I know what
you
that does.
yeah, it's a move. Hey, look at that. You got the pun. Look at that. All right, anyway, we are going to be doing a dual session. It's kind of like we're both playing when I'm teaching you, because I'm helping along the way. So, it's pretty much a dual session. We're just going to be dueling, in more ways than one. And,
Heyo.
your subscribers, and I guess mine too, would appreciate, they'd appreciate like an in-depth kind of team building thing and, learn how to build teams from scratch and what I do to make I like to think I make pretty good teams. Not to toot my own horn, but
You win when you record.
I win
And if
pretty frequently.
you aren't cutting things out like a scumbag, then I'd say you do pretty well for yourself.
I've only done that once because I funny story. I started recording like one of the games in the middle of the session, and I got one move in and then realized it was like a mono water team.
What's wrong with mono teams?
I don't like them.
Type.
I don't like
okay.
them. Yeah.
Are you racist against same type teams?
I am, man. I like diversity. This is America.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I have just seen it's very common on your videos and when we were pitching the idea, do a tutoring session. People are always asking how you build your teams, and I know you already have one, but it sort of glosses over it. I think it's great for people who already know what they're doing, but someone like me, I don't really get anything much from it. It doesn't really all make sense.
Right.
Someone who already knows something, so we're gonna go even further depth.
Yes. What we're going to do is basically I'm going to teach you. You can build along with me. I have the team already built here, so people will probably rip this off immediately and use it on Showdown, despite me not explaining it at all. But
a team that's intentionally bad. Then
I need
people
to
copy it.
just I don't know, like
hey,
a mono water team with love disc or something.
Hey, I know what that is.
Yeah, it's terrible. Don't ever use it.
But it has heart scales.
It's fucking awful. God, it's so bad. Okay, anyway, so what I do first off is basically I just think of one or two cool things I want to use, and I kind of just build around that after I want to use them. Like, for instance, the main thing I wanted to use in this team was an Assault Vest Tornadus Therian because it's fast, it's really annoying, it's got Regenerator.
This is UU too, right? Or
this is UU. Yep, UU.
Tornadus Therian. Okay.
And the main reason I wanted to use that is because it does have Regenerator.
This is one of those U-turning bastards, isn't it?
U-turning Regenerator bastards. Yep. Can you guess what moves you're gonna put on
it? U-turn. I don't know. After that,
U-turn.
Use defog on this thing.
No.
Did you even learn that?
It doesn't learn it. No.
Oh, okay.
Assault Vest doesn't
knock
let
off.
You.
I remember.
Yeah,
knock
there
off.
you go. U-turn, knock off, air slash, and superpower are what we are running. So let me know when you get that squared away.
And superpower for straight up coverage.
Yeah, after we knock off Chansey's Eviolite, there's a good chance we'll kill it with superpower. That's the main reason. Knockoff's just annoying anyway. Coupled with U-turn,
run it.
Coupled with Assault Vest, you can pretty much switch in on any, anything special that's not like an electric type, pretty much. Not many ice types, special ice types in UU, so you're pretty good to go there. Our EVs are specialized. I actually did this for a specific reason.
Okay.
I made it Jolly with 232 speed. I'm not sure what I wanted outspeed there with that, but it's something important. If we run across it, I guess it'll,
So how do you decide that how much speed you need for these certain threats? Hey, this thing's dangerous. I need to outspeed. How do you make that decision?
Well, the main thing I like take into account is if something's really fast, I may want to drop some speed EVs if it's not that common. Because you're only gonna, if you're investing in full speed, you know, like you're only gonna speed die with yourself. Like Tornadus Therian has a weird base 121 speed, so it's really fast, but it's not like uber fast, and it's in a weird tier because it's 121, not like 120 or 125 or 130. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So we're going for a jolly nature, and I can't remember for the life of me what I wanted to outspeed with this, but it was important. It's something in UU that's like scary. I know that.
Apparently not scary enough if you don't remember.
It'll come back to me if we see it. It's something relatively common.
Okay.
But I have 232 in speed, jolly nature. 250. Yeah, 232 in speed. 252 in attack, physical attack, and then 24 in HP, just to give us an odd HP number, so we don't take 25% from stealth rocks, we take 24.
Now, is that odd HP number, does that apply to every Pokemon, or just every one that has a weakness?
From what I can tell, I think it's every one of them, but I'm not, don't quote me on that. I know for a fact that
I'm gonna quote you on it.
I'm pretty sure it's for all of them, unless it's like a weird quad weakness, but I'm pretty sure as long as you have an odd HP number, you're going to take like an inkling less, you know, from Stealth Rock. It really doesn't matter on stuff that isn't weak to it, you know? If it's a flying type or if it's quad weak to it, you know?
Okay.
It's going to matter. If not, I wouldn't worry about it. But that's what we have for our first Pokemon, Assault Vest Regenerator. Annoying as hell. Unfortunately, we do have to run Jolly, so as to not sacrifice our bulk at all. There's a lot of priority in UU, so we want, you know, we don't want to sacrifice our physical defense as well. And so we have to run, you know, minus special attack, but still 230 uninvested is not bad, and plus we can flinch things with Air Slash and be annoying. So that's what we have.
Well, it's not very often you'd leave this thing in just to spam Air Slash, right? Unless you have nothing better to do.
Yeah, like pretty much only use it with like Tangrowth or something, you know? Like if you knock off, if it hits like a knock, I don't know why Tangrowth would ever switch in, but you know what I mean? Like in the sense, in the event that they're both in there, or like Shaman. Shaman's great because Assault Vest helps us tank, you know, its hidden power ices and its seed flares and stuff, which are still dangerous even though they're resisted. So you know, stuff like that.
So,
but that's
like, first things first, you picked this because this is what you wanted to run because it's a bastard and has knockoff.
Yeah, it's a bastard.
Building around this.
Yeah, it's a bastard. It's cool. I haven't used it in UU yet, I don't think, and it's kind of really good for UU standards, so it might get the boot soon, you know. So,
okay.
Because it can run a choice spec set as well and be annoying with like rain support or even without. You know, you can.
Yeah, it's got a good special attack stat too. Actually, pretty good or really good. Is that pretty good or really good? 110.
110's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Like 100 would be considered like decent, and then like 110 would be like pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's that.
Yeah, so that's that. We wanted, and then you know, you want stuff to build around it so that there's a nice synergy going on. You know, you want your weaknesses kind of covered. You can't cover them all perfectly, but you can do relatively well. So next we have.
I should also ask. Another reason you wanted to run this is because it's fast and can use U-turn.
Yeah, that's another good reason.
It's always good to have something like that on your team.
Yeah, because, I mean, you can play mind games with the opponent, you know? Is he going to knock off my Choice Scarf on my Jirachi, or is he going to U-turn, or is he going to, you know, try to flinch me with Air Slash? You know what I mean?
Okay.
Mind games. That's why this thing's so annoying. Like, you might want to just U-turn at the beginning of the game to lure in something like a Chansey and then hit it with a knockoff, you know what I mean?
Right.
So getting that Eviolite off there is huge.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you can, you know, threaten an Oko with superpower, for instance.
Does this like team building page have this thing's typing?
No, it doesn't have typing for some reason, but it's a pure flying type.
Pure flying, okay.
Yeah,
I'll be sure. I thought it was like if it's a Therian thing, it's like ground flying or something weird.
Oh no, it's just pure flying.
Okay.
Not too many pure. I think this might be the only pure flying actually, which is weird because usually they're. I don't know. Don't quote me on that either, but
I'll quote you on it.
It's a possibility, but anyway. The next thing I wanted to run was something that kind of like helped it out in the sense where it could just be annoying and cover some of its weaknesses, you know.
Cover Tornadus's.
Yes, some of them. Like electric is a problem, you know. Rock's a problem. That's the one thing where this team's I'm a little iffy about because it doesn't have a solid rock resist. But we have ways to, you know, counteract that. Just because the next thing we pick is so bulky, it really doesn't matter. We have Amoonguss.
Amoonguss.
Yeah, physically defensive Amoonguss.
Oh, another regenerator.
Yeah,
this is a regenerator team.
Yeah, no, it's just this is the only two, but they're annoying. You know what I mean? I like annoying shit.
Okay.
We have Black Sludge as the item because in the event that something tricks us, it gets a Black Sludge and it heals us, but it hurts, you know, something that's not a poison type.
Right.
So we use Black Sludge. For our moves, before we get into the EVs, I'll just go straight for the moves. These work.
They can use Spore.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Spore right off the bat.
Spore, Giga Drain, Sludge Bomb, Hidden Power, Fire. If you can remember all that in one go.
Giga Drain, Hidden Power, Fire, Sludge Bomb.
Yeah,
Power,
and Spore.
Fire, Sludge Bomb. So 2 stabs, a coverage move, and bastard move and Spore.
Yeah. This is incredibly good in UU, and I used this in OU, and it did work. If you guys saw that session, it decimated shit. Just the fact that poison moves got buffed, you know, fairies are weak to them now. This thing could switch in on pretty much any fairy unless it's like choice specs, but those are uncommon and usually they're, you know, clerics. We made it physically defensive. Well, I haven't gone to the EVs yet, but we're gonna make it physically defensive because it's just good for taking like close combats. It resists fighting moves, you know. Just a good overall, you know, physical wall. It can take, you know, stone edges from Rhyperior and scare it out, and then regen the health when it switches out. So
nice
stuff like that. We have 252 in HP, 248 in defense, and then we have 8 in speed because we want to
speed.
Yeah, we do that for a specific reason. It's for one, Hidden Power Fire drops our speed by 1 because of the IVs. So we want 2 speed EVs in there, or 8 speed EVs in there, I should say, for 2 points of speed to outspeed the common uninvested Slowbro, as well as other Amoonguss. Because Slowbro can hit you with a Psychic Psyshock. You may want to Giga Drain it or Spore it first before it does that, so you can take it out.
And Slowbros typically run no speed?
Yeah, typically. They might run 1, but in that case, we'll tie, you know.
So like, after all these years spent playing, do you just remember the speed of these threats that you are looking to specifically outspeed? Is that something you just pick up with over time?
Yeah, just from playing a lot. Like, for instance, I might use this team once, come across a Slowbro and be like, hey, I can outspeed that with like minimal investment and ensure that it doesn't like kill me with Psychic or Psyshock or something before I hit it, you know. But we want a bold nature with this, plus defense minus attack, and that's pretty much it from that.
And
but
this was chosen to augment Tornadus.
Pretty much, it hits. You know, the one thing Tornadus fears is like electric attacks, really, from strong, fast special attackers. This thing can handle special electric types because Hidden Power Ice got, you know, weakened. It's naturally especially bulky, and when you're invested in HP, you're bulky on both sides, you know.
Right.
So it can come in on a lot of stuff. It's bulky. It handles Tang Growth really well, which is another regenerator bastard because of Sludge Bomb, you know. So it's just something good to have. But you see there, after I put those 2 things on, there's a common weakness, and that is ice. So now we want some stuff that isn't as weak to ice. Okay?
Right.
So the main thing I thought was, well, a popular core is fire, water, grass, and then having things to cover those weaknesses as well, you know? So I wanted to run a Clawitzer. Because I haven't used it. Like, honestly, like Blastoise may be better, but I just wanted to use this because it's cool. You know?
Yeah, it's got a giant shrimp cannon.
Yeah, it's a great way to put it. Sounds like a buffet. Giant shrimp cannon. Anyway. But yeah, I wanted to use this because I haven't used it yet. It's actually more powerful than Blastoise because it can put on choice specs, whereas Blastoise has to use Blastoise a night, Mega Blastoise.
Okay.
And it's not as bulky though, so it's more offensive. It also doesn't get rapid spin for like utility either. But the EVs we want on it before we go into attacks, which are pretty simple. I'm actually running this with choice specs as the item.
Okay.
And the EVs are relatively simple. I run this on a lot of stuff in UU because there's one very dangerous threat in Crawdaunt. 99% of the time, those things are adamant, and they run max speed at 209. So we want 192 in speed to reach 210, so we outspeed that and don't get hit with a knockoff, which will probably kill us in one hit.
Right.
So we want 210 in speed, 252 in special attack, and then the rest is dumped into HP to give us a little bit of bulk, and we're running that modest.
So why did you decide to run this with choice specs?
Because this is the only thing that sets it apart from Blastoise, is the fact that it can run specs or Life Orb or something. Because otherwise, Blastoise is the superior choice, like Mega Blastoise, because it's faster, it's bulkier.
Okay.
It's similar special attack, I think Mega Blastoise is even better. But the difference is that this thing can put on specs and go even further than Blastoise as far as sheer power goes, because they both get Mega Launcher.
Right, so without the damage increasing item, there would be no point to run this thing.
Pretty much, yeah.
Unless you wanted a shrimp launcher.
Unless you wanted a shrimp launcher, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, this is really the only set I would recommend running, because even Life Orb I think is outclassed by Mega Blastoise. So, but again, this thing could go RU. We don't know. In that case, you can run it like a Mega Blastoise set in UU and RU. Like a bulky attacker with leftovers or something.
Okay.
But we actually want to lower our attack IVs to 0 because we're not running a hidden power, which will mess it up, And this lets us just not take as much from foul play, like switching on a wall using foul play. It's a relatively popular move on Umbreon especially. And Umbreon does not want to take a choice specs, Mega Launcher, or a Sphere from this thing. So, it's a good switch into it, especially if you lower your attack so much.
Okay.
And the moves, pretty simple. We want Aura Sphere, Dark Pulse, Water Pulse, and Ice Beam, because 3 of those things benefit from Mega Launcher, and Ice Beam maims like bulky grass types that are going to switch in, like
that Dragon Pulse you said.
Oh no, Ice Beam, Water Pulse,
Water Pulse, right?
Yeah, Aura Sphere, Dark Pulse, Water Pulse, Ice Beam. Does this thing get Dragon Pulse? Actually, it does.
It does. I saw it. I got confused. Like,
that's something you can use as well.
I didn't see Water Pulse at the top.
Yeah, it's like, I don't think Shadow's updated for its most useful moves yet, even though Water Pulse is, it's essential, pretty much. So,
this thing is pure water, right?
Yeah, pure water.
You would need Water Pulse for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Ice Beam is there. You could run Dragon Pulse, but I wouldn't recommend it because Ice Beam hits dragons hard anyway, and you don't want like a fairy switching in on it. There's really no point, So I would just run Ice Beam. Plus that chance to freeze is like.
Is there a point to running a dragon move over Ice Beam on this at all?
Pretty much no. The only reason you'd want to run Dragon Pulse over like something that gets even HP Ice is because you have to use HP Ice, and HP Ice is weak. So you might want Dragon Pulse to hit dragons harder. You know what I mean? Okay. Heatran does that in OU. But so far we have a Flying type, a Grass Poison, and a Water. Pure Water.
Right. Okay.
So we have 2 electric weaknesses, a Rock weakness, a Psychic weakness, and all that. And this is where stuff kind of gets tricky. We have a Grass weakness as well, but that's covered by Mungus and Tornadus. This is where stuff gets a little tricky because you don't have to be like perfect with your weaknesses and resistances. And this is proof of it because this thing is so dangerous. We're actually going to be running a Mega Houndoom.
Mega Houndoom.
Yeah. Basically, fire attacks don't bother this team that much. However, one thing that is annoying is Will-O-Wisp. So we want to run a regular Houndoom with Flash Fire to hopefully switch in on a Will-O-Wisp prediction and get a nice boost, because Mega Houndoom comes in on bulky ghosts like Cophagrigus and stuff pretty easily because it resists Ghost. And Ghost is such a dangerous attacking type that Mega Houndoom is great to come in, set up a nasty plot, or just outright attack and screw shit up. So Mega Houndoom ability Flash Fire, and you want regular Houndoom to put the Houndoomite on, and then make the ability Flash Fire.
Oh, right.
Yeah, my bad.
A little confused here.
Yeah,
Houndoom.
Because regular Houndoom has 2 other abilities which kind of suck. We don't want those.
Okay.
And Showdown will default the first ability.
Early Bird.
Yeah, I think that's it. We don't want Early Bird. That's shitty. Because the most common sleep moves are Grass. We have a Mungus to block those. It's immune. So, but we want this. We can run this 2 different ways, either with Sunny Day and Solar Beam. But that's a little situational, and it doesn't really benefit anything else on our team. In fact, it kind of hurts us in a way, because then if a strong fire type comes in, it can use that to its advantage, and maybe 2-hit KO something else on our team, which I'll show later.
So Sunny Day would only be good if your team is built around.
Yeah, I'd at least have one other thing that can benefit from Sunny Day on your team. All it does is hurt Clawitz or Stab, and make things that resist it. You know what I mean? If you have to switch out. So
yeah.
And fire types are relatively safe switch-ins to Houndoom. So relatively, unless you get a Nasty Plot up. But that's what we're going to run. We're going to run Nasty Plot.
Nasty Plot.
Then we're going to run Dark Pulse.
Dark Pulse.
Hidden Power Grass.
HP Grass.
And Flamethrower.
Flamethrower.
Because Fire Blast misses. So I don't want to use that.
Yeah, all these moves don't miss. I already like this.
Yeah, a little bit of power, after a Nasty Plot and with Mega Houndoom special attack, if it's weak to Flamethrower, it's probably fucking dying, honestly. So it doesn't matter, hell, even before that, it's probably dying. So, but we want that, and we want our EVs to be 252 in speed. We want 4 in special defense, so Porygon Z does not get a boost, and I think Mega Houndoom's special defense is slightly better than its defense. Don't quote me on that, but might as well invest in something.
Special defense is slightly better than its defense?
I think so, and we might have to take a Surf or a Scald or something.
80 Spadef and 50 defense?
Well, the Mega version
Oh,
changes.
the Mega version. Oh, right,
yeah.
right. Okay.
But that, and if they are the same, I would advise running 4 in special defense just to make sure Porygon Z and Porygon 2 don't get a download boost to special attack, because they're special attackers,
Well, let's take a look here at Mega Houndoom.
Yeah, go ahead and take a look at it.
Bring it up. Your team's already full anyway. So it has, it's 90 Spadef and defense, so go into Spadef with the +4?
Yeah.
Okay.
+4 in that. 252 in that, in speed, 252 in special attack, 4 in special defense, and with a timid nature, because Mega Houndoom has great speed. It outspeeds very dangerous things like Latios in the tier, base 110s, and that's worth running a positive speed nature on, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's that. It's just, you come in on something you resist, like a Will-O-Wisp. If you get a Flash Fire boost, and you can get a Nasty Plot boost, pretty much game over unless they have something faster.
Right.
Maybe Chansey's the only thing that could probably wall it, but you may get flinch hacks with Dark Pulse, so.
Chansey's a bastard anyway, so we have our bastard for that.
Yeah, we have knockoff for that, so. The next thing, though,
I can tell right off the bat, just looking at this, we need a physical attacker.
Well, I was going to say, we have a workaround with that. Not necessarily a physical attacker. Tornadus is a physical attacker first and foremost, but we have something that can kind of do both, and that is a Choice Scarf Latios, and I'll explain in a second how that does both.
Latios. This thing typically special?
Typically it's special, however, it has a little move called Psyshock, which uses your special attack, but attacks the opponent's defensive stat. Calculates that and the damage. We have this for a few reasons. One, Choice Scarf Latios is really good because it outspeeds every other common Scarfer in UU. It's powerful, it has Draco Meteor, Size Shock, pretty powerful moves. And it's got something this team desperately needs that I couldn't find another spot for because we're not using Mega Blastoise for Rapid Spin. We actually are running this with Defog, either as a last-ditch effort or, just in case we absolutely need it. because Latias is a relatively dangerous special attacker. So typically it's going to force switches, unless you're revenge killing. So in that regard, we can run this with Choice Scarf, and we're running it with Defog, because it does get it, and Draco Meteor, Psyshock, and then pretty much a filler move. I run HP Fire just in case the rare Pharaoh Seeds, in a lower tier, or in case we have to hit a Steel type with it, even though it's relatively weak, it's the strongest move to hit Steel type, so we're going to go with HP Fire.
Okay.
You got all that?
Yes.
Alright, then we're going to run 252 in speed, 4 in Spadef, because this can act as, a Volt switch taker if you have to, because something that's kind of dangerous is Mega Manectric, because it carries fire moves, which can hurt Amoonguss,
Yes.
And obviously you don't want to switch in a Clawitzer or something, or even a Houndoom on, something that has electric, fire, and like ice coverage. So this thing can take pretty much everything comfortably because of that nice base special defense, naturally. So 252 in speed, 4 in special defense, just to give it a little bit, higher buff. And then 252 in special attack, which puts us at a decent, 318 after the IV drops from HP Fire. 349 speed lets us outspeed up to base 108 Scarfers, which is the fastest I've seen in UU, which is Keldea. So we can hit with a Psyshock and kill it.
Okay.
Especially if it sets up Calm Minds, that's what Psyshock's for. To hit it on its physical defense.
Okay.
And then the final member of the team is something that I needed something
Nature
to set up
on
rocks.
Latias.
Oh, the nature is timid.
Timid.
Yeah.
So how often do you normally run timid on most things that are you all about speed over power?
Typically there's like a cutoff. If something's slower than base 80, I usually don't run a beneficial speed nature, because it's not going to outspeed, like, you know what I mean? Like, there's like that middle ground that's kind of, you don't really need
outspeed anything useful.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
speed.
Exactly. The only reason you want like max speed on like a Crawdaunt, but you don't want it Jolly because Adamant's too good. But you'd want it to outspeed certain walls, like a Moongus, Slowbro. That's actually a bad example. Stuff like Chansey, like stuff that doesn't run any speed is in like the 100 speed category.
Okay.
But generally speaking, if it's 80 or above, I like to run a positive speed nature, unless it's something like Hydreigon, because or like Haxorus, because they're in a weird speed tier, and they're so fucking powerful that running a positive attack or special attack nature will probably benefit you more if they're acting as wall breakers,
Okay.
Yeah. But then last but not least, we have a little bit of a weakness to rock. I couldn't really find anything, and also ice. But that's why we have the Assault Vest on Tornadus, because it can take that relatively comfortably. And we have 2 resists to
Even with its
that.
ice weakness?
Yeah,
Take
because
it pretty well?
Assault Vest, as long as it's not like, it can take HP ices like it's nothing, even Ice Beams it can take relatively well. And then we can switch out and do a counter and regen our health. But I couldn't really think of something good that really fit with this team that could also set up rocks, because we need Stealth Rock. That's like essential. So the best thing I could
rock
think
a
of,
part of all your teams.
pretty much, yeah. It's unless we're running like a Volt Turn offensive team, we'll have something with Magic Bounce to just bounce back rocks if the enemy team goes for them. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But I wanted something bulky on both sides that could set up rocks and that didn't give us, more weaknesses than we need. Like, we don't want another ice weakness, and we don't want another like rock weakness. So at first I was thinking of a ground type, but I was like, I'll give us another ice weakness. Can't really use that. Could use like Swampert or something if you really wanted to, but then that gives you that'd probably be the better play actually. But I wanted to use this because it's just, I've never used it and it's kind of cool.
So like the guy or the competitive person, you would run Swampert, but just to be different, you're running this.
Yeah, Swampert would give us a rock resist and also give us it'd give us a grass weakness, but we have that covered with Amoonguss, Tornadus, Houndoom, and Latias, So the competitive side of me would pick Swampert and run a physically defensive Stealth Rock set, but I've used that in like the past 2 or 3 UU sessions because it's really good. So I wanted to use something else, and plus we needed something a little specially defensive because we have physically defensive Amoonguss to be our main physical, wall. Plus this thing's bulky on both sides, but it's a Carbink.
Carbink.
Yeah, it's got a unique typing in Rock and Fairy. Plus, it helps with Latias's Dragon weakness. Like if something sets up the +2, like Haxorus or something, or something like that. Hopefully, Carbink can take one hit from it and then kill it. Yeah, because this is actually a specially defensive one because we don't really have a dedicated special switch into stuff.
Right.
Hydreigon, this is a great stop to Hydreigon because it's specially defensive, but we're going to run leftovers on it with Clear Body because Sturdy, it's not really going to die in one hit anyway. So leftovers with Clear Body.
Okay.
And then I'll just go ahead and list the EVs because the moves aren't that as important. But
it has Stealth Rock, that's all it needs.
Pretty much, yeah. 252 in HP. Max out the HP because that's its weakest stat. It's got really good defenses but bad HP, so we want high HP. 252 in special defense.
Yes.
And 4 in special attack.
Special attack.
Because it's really weak too. We want our move to do something. Our one offensive move to do something. And you can tailor this to your own needs. Like, you might do some calcs and be like, oh, a +2 Lumberry Haxorus, like Jolly Lumberry Haxorus, can't Oko Carbink if I have this much in physical defense. You might want to, realize that, or like, tailor that to your own needs. But I'm just running this specially defensive because, what the hell ever.
And with a calm nature.
With a calm nature, yep. And then we want to jack down our physical attack to 0 just because.
I think we forgot to do that on Houndoom as well. We didn't. Oh wait, or it needs to be 34 HP grass. Never mind.
It'd have to be something weird like 2 or something. I'm not sure the exact calculation on it, so I'll just leave it.
I think it needs to just be an even number. I'll try it. It'll work.
Well, it'll work, but the thing is that it can vary in power, so I'm not sure.
No, it doesn't. They took that out.
Okay, so it is 2?
Yeah, it needs to be an even number.
Okay, so we'll just put it to 2.
It's always at 60 power, this gen.
Okay, cool.
Hey, look at that. I taught BT something.
Hey, look at that. Yeah, learn something new every day. And then we can do that for Amoonguss as well.
Fire, yeah.
Yeah, put it on 2. And then that's all we really need it on, unless we...
And Latias has HP fire as well, so we can put that to 2.
Yeah. Good stuff, good stuff.
Yay, I contributed.
Look at that. Yeah, look at that. Learn something new every day.
Yeah, I was looking into it for breeding. I wanted to breed Pokemon with power moves, and it's really more trouble than it's worth. So.
Yeah, but on Showdown where it's easy to do, might as well do it,
Yeah.
Might as well do it. But anyway.
Like when it comes to breeding, I mean, if you get it.
Yeah, exactly.
Hard to be super picky about it.
If you have to lower your IVs, so you have to take a circumstantial, like, foul play or something, then you're probably overthinking it, turbo nerding it, so don't do that.
Yeah, Showdown, I mean,
Showdown,
switch the number.
Yeah, it's easy, might as well do it. But our attacks are going to be Stealth Rock, of course, staple, Moonblast, or Power Gem, whichever one you want to run.
I'd go
Fairy,
Moonblast.
Fairy or Rock, whichever one you want to do. I pick Moonblast because dragons are scary. Even with, crappy special attack, it's going to, 2-hit KO Haxorus, or, I think it's going to Oko Hydreigon, even.
Really?
It might,
it's a
4 times.
Weakness.
Yeah, 4 times weakness. I think it may Oko even Crawdon on the Switch because it's so, after Rocks, because it's so bad, especially defensive, or special defensively, I should say. Then we have Toxic, because it's good to have at least one status that's not, that actually damages or incapacitates the opponent in some way. And then we have Protect, because that gives us leftovers recovery since Carbink does not have recovery, and it makes Toxic go another turn, which will hurt the opponent.
Right.
And that's pretty much it. So I just basically took one thing and then thought, what would be good with it? You know, like something else like a Mungus. And then I basically built from there based on weaknesses, circumstantial things like Will-O-Wisp. You know, and you get that mainly just from playing a lot. I've been playing for like 4 years now, 3 or 4 years now. So that's just, you know, me turbo nerding it. But
there's no shame in that.
yeah, and this is more of a fun team, not so much a serious team anyway, you know. And
that's all for fun.
Yeah, it's more important. Like, you know, if I was playing like for serious, I'd use nothing but Genesect and Rotom and OU. You know what I mean? Like constantly.
Oh, I remember that session.
Yeah, I used it once. I used Rotom a lot just because it's a Talonflame counter, but that's beside the point. Anyway, yeah, I mean,
Rotom Lush, Best Lead 2014.
And nothing OHKOs it except like Shaman. So, you know, whatever.
You run Shaman and OU, right?
Yeah, nobody runs Celebi either. So, like, fast grass types are unseen in OU, so, you know, it's mainly bulky grass types or something like Ferrothorn.
Until you build a team that is weak to the super fast grass type, and then you start seeing them.
Yeah, pretty much.
Game after game.
And Shaman's good in OU just because it's got Seed Flare and, you know, freaking spammable 180 base power move, good bulk, can rest up and heal in one turn, and then get rid of the status. It's good in OU, you know. It can be used.
Okay.
But that's essentially the team, and like it's mainly meant more to be fun and not to be like super serious. That's why, like, if I was playing super serious, I'd switch out Clawitzer for Blastoise and Carbink for like Swampert, you know. But that's just me.
So, like, looking at this team, like as it is right now, I know you haven't tested it at all, right?
Yeah.
What are the weaknesses that you think this team might run into?
Well, I have actually tested it in a few games just to tweak things, like 2 or 3 games. But the one solid thing I would say is a problem would either be Weavile. Weavile's a problem, definitely, especially if it sets up the +2. And also Chansey if we don't knock off the Eviolite with Tornadus. So if you see a Chansey, it's very important to keep Tornadus healthy so you can get that knockoff and that superpower to get damage on it, and then come in and kill it with a Clawitzer or a Sphere or a Latias Psyshock or something like that, you know?
Okay.
And if it's the last one remaining, we want to have a status on it probably, like Carbink's Toxic, because then it can't switch out and heal off the Toxic. You know what I mean?
Right.
So Chansey is something you gotta watch out for.
But Chansey, I mean, you have to watch out on pretty much any UU team, right?
Yeah, but thankfully knockoffs really common now, so, you know. And I was actually thinking as well, if Chansey's like a huge problem, we can switch out Houndoom for Mega Absol, which gives us a similar typing just without fire, but it takes away a rock weakness, you know. And it's a physical attacker, so you can set up a Swords Dance, you know, and do that. And it's also got Magic Bounce, so you can bounce back Will-O-Wisps if you have to, which is cool.
Fancy.
Yeah, but you have to Mega Evolve to do that, so I thought Houndoom would be a little better because Will-O-Wisp is something that's kind of shitty, and we don't have a Heal Beller, you know. And then T-Wave is also shitty, so we want to go into like Amoonguss or Carbink because I don't really mind it because they're slow already. And then Amoonguss is also a good Toxic blocker and Spore blocker for that matter. So
if you don't have Heal Bell on your team, you'll take all the statuses into consideration?
Yeah, like, we don't want something like Tornadus getting T-Waves ever. We don't want Clawitzer getting Toxic because it's going to wear itself down faster. We don't want Houndoom getting Toxic. We don't want Latias getting Toxic. We don't want Carbink getting Toxic. You know what I mean? Like, we don't want these statuses.
So in one way, like, something can take all the statuses this game has to offer.
Pretty much. The only thing you really have to worry about is the rare, like, noob, and I say this not trying to be mean, but I don't think I've ever seen an experienced good player running this. Like, the rare noob Hypnosis, which has, like, 60 accuracy, or, like, even worse, like, Sing, which is, like, 55.
Sing.
Yeah, don't use those moves, because they usually don't hit, and they're going to piss you off, and they're going to piss the opponent off. Nobody wins. So,
well,
yeah,
if you're mad.
if
the noob wins.
well, I mean, if he misses it, he's gonna be mad though. When he missed, because I had some dude literally miss hypnosis in 4th gen like 3 times in a row.
Oh.
And I don't feel bad because like, don't use hypnosis. You know, it's bad. Like, the lowest accuracy you should ever go, in my opinion, is 70. And even then,
I think that's kind of pushing it.
Yeah, that's only for focus miss. So, if I had it my way, I would run nothing below 90. But sometimes you have to run Fire Blast for power, or Stone Edge, Stone Miss, or Hydro Pump, because some Pokemon, like Rotom Wash, don't get Surf. So, you know.
Yeah, I can't spit hot fire. Washing machines just aren't installed with hot water features.
Exactly. Like, it's no, like, you know, it's no secret that, like, for instance, Blastoise gets Focus Blast and Hydro Pump. And they get boosted by Mega Launcher. I think they get boosted by Mega Launcher. Either way,
I don't think Focus Blast does.
I think it does, because I think it's... I'm not sure on that. I read that
Aura and Pulse moves, unless Focus Blast is an Aura.
I think it's considered.
Move.
I think it's considered an Aura move, even though it's not in the name. Don't quote me on that. I don't know. That's what I heard.
That beats me.
Yeah, but
well, why would you run Focus Blast over Aura Sphere?
I would never run it over Aura Sphere if Aura Sphere is an option, like ever. I don't care about the power.
Yeah, because it doesn't matter if it gets more power; it'll miss.
Yeah, because you know you might come in and be like, "Oh, it's a T-Tar; it's gonna die to a fighting move anyway." You know, if I had Aura Sphere, if nothing else, I can get guaranteed damage on it, even if it's specially defensive. With Focus Blast, I can either kill it or it can live at full health, and I don't like those odds. You know, I'd rather do just damage than come up with something else.
Top tips with BT: don't run Focus Blast.
Don't run Focus
You're
Blast.
Gambling, man.
The only thing I would run it on, and this is something that it actually comes in handy on, is like something really bulky so that the miss won't matter. Like, for instance, one of the things I would actually recommend running it on is like a Tangrowth, because it's bulky enough and it's got Regenerator, so if you miss, it's not a huge deal. And it can nail some O-codes on stuff like Mega Aggron, which you couldn't touch otherwise, you know?
Okay.
So, in that case, run it. Otherwise, stick to stuff at least 80 and up. Like, don't ever run Blizzard unless you're in a Hail team, you know? Don't run Thunder unless you're on a Rain team. So, or you have Compound Eyes ability. But that's a pretty damn detailed team building series, if I do say so myself. Because we went like 45 minutes there.
So,
yeah,
I learned a couple things. You can count for statuses. Start off with one thing you want to use, build off from that, and start accounting for the weaknesses as you go.
One thing I would also recommend, which I didn't cover yet, is that if you're still with us this far and you haven't fell asleep or like, you know, completely zombified to us just talking over pictures of fake animals,
Launchers.
And shrimp launchers. I was actually on it when you said that. And mushrooms. And weird rock bunny things. I like to put certain things in my team. That being, I like to have like a checklist of things that I consider essential. Stealth Rock, or a way to bounce back Stealth Rock, is essential, I think. You always want something with Stealth Rock, just because if you don't, something with Sash could come in and sweep your team. Dragonite and powerful flying types would reign supreme. Stealth Rock is just so important. You know, even if they have Defog, it forces them to waste a turn going for Defog or Rapid Spin. And you get the initiative with a switch or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's so defining that they had a tier like last gen for no Stealth Rock, and people on GameFAQs are always whining about stuff. It's like, every team has Stealth Rock, it's overpowered. Game Freak, do something, bro.
And then, like, everybody's running Volcarona, Dragonite, like Salamence, like stuff like Tornadus Therian, you know, Thunderous Therian, all this stuff weak to it, just because they'd be like, Dragonite would be Uber if it weren't for Stealth Rock, as would like the Mega Charizards, and stuff. So just think about that. Like, yeah, it sucks. I kind of wish they changed the mechanics where you had to stack it like spikes to get those weakness like bonuses, you know. That'd be cool, but it's not how it worked. So, you know, no use complaining about it. But I like to have a Stealth Rocker though. I like to have either a Choice Scarfer or at least 2 things with priority if I don't have a choice scarfer.
Yeah, this team has no priority.
Yeah, so choice scarf is necessity.
Okay.
And I also like to get something balanced with special and physical attacking, because in UU, for instance, the best physical wall is a Powdon, best special wall is Chansey, bar none. They're really hard to deal with. So you want something that either is a mixed attacker or can hit, like Latias can hit on the physical side with Side Shock. Tornadus Therian is a physical attacker that can also do some special hits if it needs to. Then we have like 2 insanely powerful special attackers to break through even, like any special wall not named Chansey, essentially, like I don't care how bulky Fortress is, it's not going to appreciate a nasty plot flamethrower from Houndoom. It's going to take like half, if not more. And Choice Specs Clawitzer, nothing's going to appreciate taking a Choice Specs Water Pulse, even if it resists it. I think Celebi is the only thing that really can take it, or like specially defensive Roserade. But then you have Ice Beam to hit it hard, so, But yeah, and we can even, you can always tailor, like, tweak stuff and tailor it to your needs. Like, for instance, speaking of Roserade, if you wanted to outspeed Roserade with Clawitzer, you could take some out of HP and run, like, enough to outspeed the bulky variant, whatever that's running nowadays. I think it's like 218, 220 something. I don't know. You could do that, but it's not very common, and it's not really scary because we have, like, Amoonguss to pretty much wall it the hell and back. It can set up spikes, but we have defog, so there's that. So it's not a huge deal. And then you're just kind of like speed creeping, and it doesn't really matter in the end game. Wasted EVs, so might as well put them in
I guess
bulk.
like something like that specific is you'd have to experience it a number of times.
Yeah, you have
before
to.
you even would consider changing your EVs around for it.
Yeah, because Roserade may fall even to RU because Celebi and Shaman are the superior grass types in UU. You know what I mean? And Amoonguss too. I'm seeing Amoonguss more, and Amoonguss is other Amoonguss deal with Amoonguss. If Amoonguss spored something, then Tornadus Therian like poops on it. You know what I mean? So
Right.
And that's just an example, as does Houndoom. So.
Okay.
But that's essentially the team building process, like a big hour-long video to explain it, and hopefully you guys learned something. Even if you clicked off the video in like the first 10 minutes, you probably learned something. So I hope that helped, though. Really, I think from the beginning of time, people have always asked us in a certain game, like, how do you do this well, or whatever, like, no matter the game. And really, I don't think we do anything special. It's just playing a lot.
It's something that comes from experience.
Yeah,
I mean,
all experience.
Like building the team, like right off the bat, like covering the weaknesses, I think that's pretty easy. But then once you get into like the specialized EVs, that's the hard part. And the little numbers, they do matter.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what, like there's no way 4 HP would make a difference. And I mean, I don't play Pokemon, but I can definitely tell you the little numbers are where it separates a good player from a mediocre player.
Yeah, like a mediocre player would leave Amoonguss at 95 speed to be outsped by a Slowbro. If you're really thinking about it, you're going to run a little bit more to outspeed Slowbro so that you can put it to sleep or Giga Drain it for the kill. You know what I mean? That's like those 8 EVs and speed matter a hell of a lot. Like, you don't even know, just because Slowbro is such a dangerous threat, it's so bulky, Amoonguss can check it that way. And
so would you run just enough speed to outspeed 8-speed Amoonguss on Slowbro?
That's usually some Slowbro, like I said, run 4 speed to hit 97 to outspeed other Slowbro or Amoonguss. But at that point, like, you could, but I mean, at that point, it's not like you're gonna speed tie. And you could if you really wanted to. But it could just be a wasted EV that you could put in defense to better take a hit, Whereas you might die, you might live on 2% with one more defense EV. You know what I mean? Like, something like that. So, I mean, you can.
You'll take away one small number, or give it one small number, but you'll end up taking a small number away from something else. And that'll depend on, like, what you're seeing that day or that week.
Yeah, I mean, if I ran into a slow bro and it like outsped me, I'd run like another speed EV, like 4 more EVs, you know. But it's trial, you know, it's trial and error. It's tweaking, just experience, knowing, seeing something, tweaking it based on that. But this is more of a fun team anyway, and it's just mainly there just to, you know, just be fun, have some fun, use some stuff that isn't too commonly seen, like Clawitzer and Carbink and stuff. So, yeah.
Okay. I am definitely all about fun and things that are not seen often.
Exactly.
That sounds cool.
You're the one that uses dual Scorpions in Black Ops 1. So
they're actually I should say pretty popular, but
I mainly remember FAMAS and Galil, but that's
FAMAS hip fire is better than
yeah, it is. And
and
for
you
instance,
have the option to ADS.
well, in Black Ops 2, my personal favorite gun that I thought wrecked face was the
M1216.
That's it, yeah. And it was not popular at all, really, but it was damn good. So just because something isn't used, I don't think it necessarily makes it bad. You know what I mean? Like, I used Slowbro and Amoongus and OU and their UU, and they wrecked face because they're so annoying with Regenerator, and their coverage moves, even uninvested, can do big damage, you know, to offensive threats. So,
right.
Yeah. But, you know, just have fun with it. Don't be super serious all the time. Unless you're playing in, like, a tournament for money. Just, you know, play to have fun first and foremost. Don't use
I mean, at the same time, you know, we push variety, but you can't knock people for being the best they can. There's also fun to be had in that. So, while I may hate FAMAS and Galil every game, I get why people use it, unfortunately.
Yeah, like, I personally strongly dislike Mega Lucario. I understand why people use it. It's a get out of jail free card. You know, it's really good. I don't know if I got banned or not yet because I haven't played OU in a while. So, I believe it did. I'm not sure. If it didn't, I'll be very disappointed. And I will stick to UU for a long time because something like Talonflame is a dangerous threat, but it has, for sure, counters, you know? Like, Heatran is a good counter. Rotom Wash, good counter. Rotom Heat's a good counter. Rhyperior is even a counter. Tyranitar's a counter. You know, all these counters, it can do big damage, but it's got counters. But something like Mega Lucario really doesn't, depending on the set it runs. And it can totally, you don't know what it has until something's dead. And that's not good. That's not a good competitive mindset. That'd be like if a dude's gun, like if he had a FAMAS that could turn into a shotgun in Call of Duty, that could turn into an SMG. You know what I mean?
They call it the Master Key attachment, dude.
Oh, dude, I'm sorry. Man, that comparison totally bombed. I forgot about that great attachment.
Got him, coach.
Oh man, but yeah. Hopefully that you know clears it up for you guys and gives you a lot to go on as far as team building goes. I'm just going to title this the Ultimate Team Building Guide because I don't think I can go more in depth than that.
Yeah, I mean, going more in depth would require experience, and by then you probably don't need a guide.
Exactly. So, you learned something. People watching learned something. Hopefully, I think it was a good hour spent here talking about this. So
yeah.
But anyway,
well done, I'd say.
Yeah. So if you guys enjoyed it, you know, leave a like rating, and we will see you, I guess, with a session with this team after I post this, I guess.
All right. Thanks, Professor BT, sharing his Pokemon knowledge with me and the thousands and thousands of fans who watch our videos.
I do what I can.
What a saint.
I know. Saint BT.
Saint Truth.
But we will see you guys later. Peace out.
Peace out.